Hello, welcome to Quack&Co. Thank you for being here. Today, we are talking about whether or not ISS Vanguard is, in fact, innovative. It's one of the questions we ask on our Right For You, Wrong For You series, our full review series. It is a hard question to pose, and so it's one of those things that I want to present to you, the audience, because I really think there are elements of this game that I have never seen executed before in another game system, especially in the way that it pulls pieces together, but we have limited knowledge, we have limited context, so I want to talk through those, and I want to invite you all to let us know in the comment section down below, does ISS Vanguard, in fact, do something new? Because my theory is, my proposal is that it does. Today is Monday Musings. This is where we try our best to have a conversation with you, the audience. So, Wes Todd, before I take the mantle, I'm going to ask you the question. Is ISS Vanguard innovative? Yes. If so, how? And if not, does it matter?
So I say yes, it is, and I say the ship phase is probably the massive innovation part of it.
You want to talk about that and what this phase is?
Yeah. So most of the time in like in a game like this, where you're going through a campaign, you're going to have this upkeep phase where it's all paperwork and it's all boring and nobody really enjoys doing it. What ISS Vanguard does exceptionally well is it makes this phase smooth. And it while it is still paperwork, it is still upkeep, it's actually a game in and of itself because there's resource management. There are things that you're trying to build. You're trying to decide where you're going to go using the energy that you've got available to you. And it does it, I believe, in a way that I've never seen done before because you have the ability to choose which of these things you're going to do, and the results of those choices do definitely affect you. And I believe this is a much simpler plan than anything else I've ever seen in the upkeep phase of a campaign game.
Yeah, so that's where my premise is as well. There are other parts of this game that I think are very interesting. You have the pressure luck dice rolling, you have the cooperative exploration, you have the story-driven app, you have some choose-your-own-adventure modules, but the ship management is probably where the game stands out as the single most different thing, the single most innovative thing, and it's one of those things that will make you love or hate this game.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that I found while we were playing it was that I am not a grab the card, put it in thing person. I am a mark stuff off of the book and read the entries person.
Yeah.
So
whereas Tom Vassell said that he loved this section of the game.
Yeah, this was his favorite part of the entire game, he said. He also commented about the rules specifically being in here so that you didn't have to keep going back to a rule book to get the information. It was just, this is what you do. You walk through this section, it tells you exactly what to do. That is innovative in and of itself, that you don't need the rule book necessarily to get through this phase.
No, I mean, I think by the time we were up and running in this game, we very rarely checked the rule book for anything.
Yeah.
Because most of the information could have or should have been here within the realm of this. So, let's talk about it. I don't know of another game that, one, organizes a development or production phase through things like binder sleeves.
Yeah, I don't either.
There might be another game out there.
Possible.
It makes me think more of like an RPG or a large settlement development game, but even things like that, you look at Kingdom Death, for instance, which is full settlement building. I do have sleeves for all my gear grids and stuff like that, but they're not tracking all of these extra little pieces and modules.
It also wasn't built into the game and designed that way, which I think is the big difference here.
But then on top of that, where I think this stands out head and shoulders above anything else that I know of in terms of an experiential adventure is that this breaks down the mechanics of running not only a emotional and lively crew of people that have their own problems, their own issues, but also running a ship that has to continue innovating, developing technology, upgrading in a way that actually allows you to put together a ton of puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, this ship phase, when it comes to doing something new in a board game, this ship phase is the make or break it thing. If you hate a bit of paperwork, a bit of management, if you don't like the puzzle of where things slot and how stuff develops and upgrades, ISS Vanguard probably will not be the game for you.
Yeah, I mean, that just at the very beginning, it's probably not the right spot for you. But I will say that this makes that phase way better.
Yeah, it still could be the right game for you.
Way better.
But if you happen to be the type of person that enjoys the puzzle of how stuff is slotting in, if you like the idea of a binder that organizes everything you're going through, if you like the idea of processing paperwork and resolving effects, ISS Vanguard might be the most rewarding and satisfying experience of that I've been through. Let's talk about how this phase works a little bit so people get a sense who, if they haven't played, they get a sense of what's happening when we actually dive into this. The other half of the game, for the record, is exploration. It's cards coming out onto the board. There's unique developments that you have seen in some campaign games before, but maybe not quite the same way. You have card overlays that change environments. You have a bit of movement that's more tactical. Sometimes you flip whole pages of the book to resolve new things that are happening. You have dice rolling that have different symbols that resolve whether or not you've succeeded or failed, and custom abilities and hands of cards that give you more powers. But a lot of that is like a classic dungeon crawl or a classic campaign game. If you like those things, ISS Vanguard is already on your radar, I am sure.
Absolutely.
The shipbook. What do we do when we get here?
Well, I mean, the shipbook, this particular thing is really nice because it allows you to literally save your game. You can save everything that you need and put the entire thing away and be able to bring it back out again, and it'll all be able to be brought back exactly the way it was before.
Open it up here, you start from zero.
Yep, start from zero directly. It's so super nice.
We're going to come here to the bridge section, and this is where you start resolving situations, gaining resources that you can spend, how much action utility you're going to have, and installing upgrades into your ship.
Correct.
So we have a whole section here of what our objective is. We have a whole section here that's teaching us about whether or not our ship is happy and situations come out. What are some of the situations you can face?
Well, we had a situation where there was an alien life form that managed to make it on board, so we had to deal with that.
We had a hunger strike that has not been resolved ever.
Yeah, our food production continued to die. We also had a good situation where we had an intramural game thing that happened, which actually raised morale up, which was very nice.
And so the environment, the ecosystem of the ship is very quickly identified, and it reminds you that you're playing with a crew of people that are mechanical, but still in this section have a lot of life to them. Then we have bridge upgrades. Bridge upgrades are things like hull structure, new developments, new technology.
Scanners, different things like that.
And these you gain throughout the course of the gameplay, and on this first page and the second page here, you're going to immediately see and then start getting an understanding of these mechanics. And they're kind of rules additions.
Yeah, they are, because like certain ones here are, it costs you one less energy to move to a different solar system, or you get additional, you will take one less situation or something along those lines. So different things.
Then you pop into the star map. The star map is the section of the game that usually in a campaign is where you set up the tiles and choose what adventure you're going on. Like in Gloomhaven, you're like, I'm going there. Let's draw some city event cards and maneuver forward. Here, you actually have this whole puzzle. How much resources do you spend? Where do you fly to from one position to another position?
Yeah, because inside of each different solar system, there are other types of planets and different things that you can scan and look at. It doesn't mean you actually have to land there, but you can spend additional energy to gain a benefit from something else that's going on in that area.
And so while you're exploring, you actually will be diving back into the story, the world, learning stuff. So you're in this very mechanics section of the game, and yet at the same time, you're resolving and getting positive or interesting consequences as you play. And this could affect other parts of the game because your ship's still maneuvering while you're upgrading and developing.
For sure.
Moving on, we have the ship facilities. We'll break these down very quickly.
Yeah, in the ship facilities, you've got different options you can use with your command tokens. So the situation room allows you to deal with the situations, to solve them and get rid of them. Barracks allows you to grab more people to join your crew as far as the away teams go.
Man, and there are vitally a lot of potential recruits.
These are just the base ones. There's a whole nother set that's about this big with more crew and their advanced crew.
And everyone has their own story, their own background, their own artwork, and their own history. So again,
very cool.
You're in a mechanic section of the game. Just get new people, but you're discovering more story as you go.
We have the production facility here, which allows you to actually produce things. So machines, hangars, like different ships and stuff like that. So those are really, really good. You have your research laboratory, which will actually allow you to get more technology. So alien technology that can give you things like bridge upgrades, additional production options. It could allow you to get faster things on your med bay. There's all kinds of different things that your alien technology is massively important because we don't understand anything.
And it breaks down how each one of those resolve as you choose to go to them. So you don't have to worry about all the rules all the time. They're right in front of you when you decide to do that technology. We have the hangar where you get ship upgrades, and then you get to the point where we actually launch, walks you through going to the actual planet, setting up the board, and then of course leaving the planet and storing everything for a saved state of the game. This binder does two things that I think any game could learn from. One, creates a way to process the storage and organization of a game system in a thematic, interesting, and engaging way that keeps me here.
Yeah.
Right? This 30 minutes of paperwork, I would be ground to a halt if it wasn't for this book being here.
Yep.
And then second, teaches us how a mechanic system in a game can not only be a mechanic system, but also a gameplay element in and of itself.
Sure.
And I really enjoy that. So my argument is, ISS Vanguard is in fact innovative. Let me know. Do you agree? Disagree? Love to have a conversation with you down below. We'll see you next time.
Bye.